These are our stories from the driver's seat. Our opinions only, not our employers or school districts. Student safety and privacy always come first. So no names, faces, routes, or, you know that kid, details ever make it on the podcast.
I don't like Florida. It's too hot down there.
Not in the winter.
People in Florida are crazy.
Yeah, they are.
Jerry and I are never going to see each other ever again because I'm moving to the for retirement.
Yeah. I like the snow and I don't mind the cold. I mean, as long as I can bundle up and,
Yes.
But when you're hot, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You go swimming.
Yeah, it's too hot.
It's still hot.
I'd rather be, and even when I'm driving bus, when it's hot, you're driving and it's, I don't have AC on my buses. I don't know about you guys, but we don't have AC. And so when it's hot, you're just miserable.
Jerry has a fun story about his bus.
Yeah.
Did you have air conditioning on your bus?
Yeah.
For a hot minute.
Long story short, I got a new bus this year. New buses come with the air like built in, and apparently the buses that they got were on lease, and we are in a budget crisis, so they sent them back.
Oh no!
So I do not know what I'm driving this fall. Probably back at my old Bluebird. Yeah. A little frustrating.
And I got a new bus too. I got mine back in was it before Christmas? I think it was right before Christmas. And it's a Bluebird. It's a gasser.
Yeah.
No AC though. They don't put
Really?
AC on our buses. So yep, we don't have AC.
How do you like that Bluebird?
That's all we drive. That's all we have. All of our buses are Bluebirds. But I had a propane before.
Oh.
So and most of our buses are propane because they got tired of dealing with the problems with the diesels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they started doing all propane, and then they said, okay, let's try gas because they wanted to be able to send some of the buses out on longer trips. Yeah. And so propane fills aren't as common in our area. I mean, there's a few of them, but so they wanted a gas bus so that they would be able to send them out on longer trips. So I'm the first gas bus that we've ever had.
Oh, interesting. So we don't have a lot of propane buses around here. I know our city runs a lot of propane. So when you say it runs out, like can you give me an estimate on, like, are we fueling it every day because it runs out?
For propane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So you get 100, well, depending, but the propane bus that I had before, the one that I just surrendered as a substitute bus,
Mm-hmm.
but I drove that one for 10 years. It had a 100-gallon tank on it. You can only use 80% of it, right? You got to make sure that you don't go less than 80% for your use, because then there's no more pressure in that tank, right?
Hmm.
And then you will run out of propane. But your gauge compensates for what you are using. If you're not going to get down to, let's say, a quarter of a tank and then be at zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your 20% is kind of built into that gauge. But anyways, so I would probably get maybe I'd fill my tank probably every 2.5 days, depending.
Do you know how?
It was.
Go ahead.
And I was driving about 100, and for my route, I'm driving about 120 miles a day.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Oh.
I was to say, because I think our buses get about 6 miles to the gallon, the diesel buses.
And the propanes were getting 4 to 5.
Okay,
depending on. Yeah.
Is it just because it's is propane you're going to think I'm a freaking idiot, but
propane is cheaper.
It's cheaper
than diesel. It's cheaper in our area than diesel. Yes. And it runs cleaner.
It's
right?
cleaner.
It does run cleaner.
It's a cleaner fuel. Yep. And they just got tired of dealing with the problems with diesel buses. They had so many problems with diesel buses where they're regen, and they'd be out on the routes, and the buses, they'd have to park them and restart them. And, and then they got to have so many problems. I think they put thousands of dollars into a couple buses to work on their emission systems, because and these are older buses. I think one of them was a 2014. And there was another one that was a little bit older than that, but they'd have these buses for many years, and then they just had problems with them, and they got tired of dealing with it. So they're not doing any more diesels.
It's funny. It all depends on who is the supervisor at the time, or the admin, or how the district is cash heavy, because Joe's been about 10 years, right? Driving.
Oh, no, I'm going to my 15th.
Oh, 15th. Okay. So you've seen a lot of different buses, and we have Bluebirds and Internationals, and we were gas for a while, diesel for a while. Now we're going back to diesel again. And it all depends on the mechanic too. So our mechanic loves the diesels.
Yeah.
Just loves them. But I know what you're saying about the regen. I think the older ones, like Joe, the 400s have that problem with the like regen right in the middle of stuff. The newer ones don't seem to do that. But
Really?
no, I don't recall having the diesel problems.
Yeah.
Really?
On the road.
Yeah. And I think back when propanes came out, that's when we started getting them. So the diesels that we do have are just the older. I think it's 2009, 2004. There's maybe three or four diesels, and they're all like in the, like within a 10-year range of each other. And then after that, they just start getting propanes because they just got tired.
Well, the elephant in the room is they're all Bluebirds and they all suck. So
Yeah.
So
I don't make that decision. We get what we get.
We don't either.
Right?
we had all diesels. Our entire fleet had switched over to diesel for years, and then we brought in a gas Bluebird. And I had, like you, the same opportunity to jump in one, and it was quiet. And I'm like, wow, this drives like my car. It's very light. And I had a blast in it. It zipped around. I have a very tight, lots of turns, and my
turning radius
turned with my finger, and it corrected itself right back. And I had fun with it, but the thing was falling apart. Like it broke down. Like there would just be pieces falling off. And
now, was that a propane?
No, it was a gas.
Okay.
It was gas. Yeah.
Because the propanes are really quiet too. Like you can hear the kids all the way in the back because the propane's so quiet,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they don't get away with much back there, but it's quiet.
Our mechanic hated those Bluebirds. They're terrible. So then International came out with a gas bus. So I have a gas bus also, but it's International.
Okay.
So it's beautiful. I love it. I think I have the best of both worlds. It's quiet. It doesn't smell. It doesn't break down. And it's built like the tanker, diesels are.
Sure.
So I absolutely love it. I didn't think it was an option until recently, I guess, where they put the gases on.
Yeah, I think, yes, you're correct. I think they went from diesel to propane and then brought gas back. But now it's all of our buses are Bluebirds. Are you a transit or conventional?
Conventional.
Okay, so we're all conventionals too.
Yeah.
So I just attended an advanced driver event. I'm the OBI for my school, and they had an advanced driver. All the OBIs go in and help facilitate, the safety.
Victoria, what's OBI?
Onboard instructor for the state of Ohio. It's onboard instructor. That's what we call OBI. Yeah. So a trainer, right?
Trainer.
So last week we had a train the trainer event. So I went down to Logan, Ohio, which is probably it's more like, I don't know if you ever heard of the Hocking Hills area in Ohio.
Yep.
Okay. Logan, Ohio is that area. So we went down there for a day, and they had some new things that they wanted to have us train drivers on. So we had to go and get some practice with that. And then this week was the actual, it wasn't a rodeo. It was I don't know, do you have bus rodeos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, it wasn't a rodeo,
yeah.
But it was an advanced driver, but they still had a, parking lot, obstacle course and stuff like that. That was the area that I was, but they also had the Ohio State Highway Patrol came in and did human trafficking, came in and did, in case you have a gun on the butt, anything.
Yeah.
That kind
this
of
is
stuff.
What we need, Jerry. This is the stuff you were talking about.
And then we also did a distracted driving exercise with the pedal cars. You sit on these pedal cars, like they're like, little carts that you pedal, and they put these goggles on you. They put the marijuana goggles on you, and you got to go through the obstacle course. And then they put the drunk goggles on you, and you go through the obstacle course. And they have another set of they're like sunglasses, but it's an app on the instructor's phone, and it makes different lenses go out, or it blacks it out completely. So that's your distracted driving, right? So you're going through the course and you lose your vision. So, and it's fun, it's definitely worth doing. I think that program was called, I took a picture of it off the back of the cart. If I can find it, I can send it to you.
Will you send it?
You can get, they suggest that you contact them, and they can tell you how to facilitate it in your area.
That all that sounds amazing. I just can see how excited you are about the training. We don't get any of that. Like,
really?
We get absolutely zero. They will not pay for it. Like if Joe and I wanted to do that, we would have to write a grant. to get
Wow.
money to do any, like
So
we
the
have,
state doesn't do anything for it like that for you guys, huh?
no, we don't get any training.
Wow.
And now again, it all depends on who's in charge in the moment. If that supervisor, if they're passionate about it, they're going to go to the district and bug them and say, hey, I need cash. I need cash. I need cash. But our last one doesn't care, or
The state of Ohio Board of Education is the one
Okay.
that does this,
Yeah.
right? So like, if you get trained as an OBI or you trained as an on-board instructor, they're the ones that train us. So they're, training us to train our drivers. And they're the ones that held this program. So it wasn't through my school at all, but there was schools from all over the state.
Right. Yeah, we did hold, oh God, it's been 10 years. I mean, I was
Yeah.
pretty new, but we would go north to just stay in our state, but go north a couple hours. And they had an event with active shooter, somebody coming on your bus and just all this, stuff to go over. And then they tipped a bus and lit it on fire. They
Oh,
emptied
wow.
they emptied all the
You had to
liquids and stuff out of
evacuate?
us, but no, we weren't on it. We just
Oh.
saw how fast like the cab,
Sure.
filled up with smoke and we actually got to see like, they had separately then in another area, like how to crawl through the windows and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the only thing I think we've had. We've had
Wow.
one other time where we went to a neighboring district where there was a speaker, but that's it. That's it.
So for your schools, for each school district, who trains your drivers?
We
Well-
have
Is it
our own individual.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a sensitive subject.
Okay.
No, we just have one of our bus drivers is trained. To
Okay.
train.
Yeah.
But they've been trained also. They've been trained
We don't know.
elsewhere, or they're just through the ranks.
Just
Most
through-
experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not even that, just
No.
whoever wants to. And then they kind of got some training. I think
Mhm.
you have to be sure. Don't you have to have some certification to be able
You
to
got to
train?
have something because
There's
you can,
something, yeah.
because you can, I think, take them on the road when they don't have their license yet. Like you're actually
Yes.
an instructor. Like I don't think we can just with CDLs have somebody else drive that hasn't. Well, I mean, you obviously have to pass your written first for us, but then
Yeah.
they can go on the road with the trainer. Like they can be right away. So I think, they got to have some sort of certification or whatever.
Yeah.
So Victoria, tell me how long you've been driving and if you've been at the same district your whole career.
I have been driving at the same district. I started, I think this will be my 14th year, I think. I was a rural carrier so let's say this. I started out my first major job that I had was I was a construction millwright for about 8 years. I went through my apprenticeship and then I became a journey person. And then I had 4 years in as a journey person, and then kind of the recession hit and the industries around us, they weren't hiring for shutdowns or,
Right.
putting in new machinery. So work really slowed down. So then I went to go deliver mail as a rural carrier. And I did that for 11 years with the hopes of acquiring the route that I was on. And the post office merged offices and I lost all my seniority that I had. And they pretty much told me, you got to work every Saturday now. You got to learn all these routes. And I thought, well, we had kids and I had a daughter in Girl Scouts and I had stuff going on. I said, somebody else needs this job more than I do.
Yeah.
So that's when I went to bus driving. And I really wish I would have done it a lot sooner than I did.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was in for, obviously. We don't ever, but it's been my favorite job of all the jobs that I've had. So
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is so rewarding. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, I really do like my job. And I think I realize that I'm fortunate because I don't have a lot of kids on my bus. I drive more miles than I have kids.
Yeah.
Right? I think for my we run 2 routes in the morning and 2 routes in the afternoon. And then they also have preschool routes.
Yep.
That they only have 4 preschool routes, or no, 3 preschool routes. So we have 13 drivers that are daily runners, and then substitute drivers that take trips and stuff. So I only have morning and afternoon. I don't have any preschool. So we run a high school, middle school first, and then our elementary, and then got 5 hours in between routes, and then go back and do our high school, middle school take home. And then elementary take home.
That's exactly how we're set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13 drivers. That's all you have for full
That's
time?
all we have. Yeah. It's a small
Wow.
school district. We have I think our student, I think maybe 1,300 kids is our school district. But our school district is like 120 square miles. It's a big school district, but we don't have that many kids. So it's all rural. All rural. Yeah.
Dang.
I would love that.
It's really nice.
Becky's
Well,
excited to go
driving,
drive in the
Yeah. I would love that.
in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it in the wintertime?
We're really flat where I am. You know, there's not a lot of, you know, Northwest Ohio, there's not a lot of hills. You know, I think the most problems we have in the wintertime is when it does snow and they clear the roads, there's a lot of drifting.
Yeah.
And then it just turns to ice. So that's our problems here, you know.
Okay.
So if we don't have any snow or anything, we can deal with the cold, but
yeah.
What is your biggest challenge right now as a bus driver in 2026? Maybe you can talk about, especially you being a trainer, like, I know with 13 routes, I would guess you still have trouble getting people in the door.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that the biggest, for the school district, the biggest challenge is getting new drivers that actually want to do routes. We have a lot of people that are coming in and they're okay doing trips,
right?
You know, but they don't want the routes.
Yes.
Because they have kids that are in sports, or, you know, they have people that, you know, so as a school district, I think that's our biggest challenge. As a driver, I think our biggest challenge is like discipline, you know, having the school back you up with discipline. We've had a change of administration over the past few years, and it's changed how they deal with the kids and the misbehavior. And so that really shows, you know, just within a year, we really had a lot of major problems. And I don't think it's only with the buses. I think it's the whole school district, because they changed how they've dealt with the behaviors. And so, and then I think that there's like a year of COVID kids that just kind of like, they have a lack of social skills for a year, you know, and then the sixth graders, I think it's sixth graders. I mean, they're off the hook. They're not, they don't think,
I agree.
You know, there's something wrong with sixth graders right now. So, but, you know, but anyways, I think that's the biggest challenge as far as a driver.
Yeah. The culture is really important. And I know what you're saying with, like, it's the whole school system. I know we are on I'm not going to say the acronym, but we have a behavioral system, and then I'm not a huge fan of it. You know, I'm 50 plus, I think. I'm not going to say it.
Just a year.
Yeah, 50 plus. It's more than a year. But my point is, right, I think we're Gen X, you know, and we've kind of grown up with a little bit of like, no, knock your shit off, like that kind of, not that you can say that as a bus driver, but
yes.
So,
well, you do.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess my point is, like, the system we're on is a big reward system, which I think is appropriate in certain situations, but a lot of it, when the disruption happens, that child needs to be removed from that situation.
There isn't a lot of accountability in the system right now, you know,
unfortunately.
So, and part of it too is, you know, for knock on wood, I will say that for my routes that I know a lot of the parents, and there's a good open line of communication. So that helps, because, you know, when I have a problem with the kids, I don't necessarily go to the parents, but I have a lot of parents that have come to the bus and say, you know, how's my kid doing? And I'm honest with them. I'll tell them, hey, we had some moments, right? I don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
But I do talk to other drivers that have, and then I don't have very many. I think on my high school, middle school bus, I probably have, it varies depending on drivers and sporting events. I have anywhere from like 20 kids up to 30, right? I'm not very full. And then for my elementary, I probably have anywhere from 15 to 25. You know, it just depends on babysitter, you know, daycare and stuff like that. So I'm not a full bus. We have other drivers in the district that they're full, and they have a lot of problems with, you know, parents and kids that lie. But there's video cameras in the bus.
I know.
You know,
those kids are so stupid. They it's like, I don't know. Do you think it's because they've grown up in a recording world where everything is recorded, and so they don't realize it? Because us, like, honestly, that's a couple of times that has kept me from, like, okay, take a deep breath. You know what I mean? But I feel like they're grown up in that, and they just don't care, I guess. I don't know.
I don't, for them, like you said, everything is you know, all on our phones, right? Everything's recorded. And for them, like Snapchat, it only lasts for a minute and then it's gone. So maybe that's the thing. It doesn't occur to them. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
I
don't
saw like that behavior part. That's pretty important to me because as a district that I was born and raised in, and now I drive in, it's important to me to connect with these kids because you feel so isolated. We are out there on our own.
Yeah.
And it's hard in the moment to like deal with one person when I have maybe 56 of my upper L, so I'm packed, but my route is small. So I pick up a huge number of kids in a small area. And I try to connect with every single one. If they don't want me to, that's fine. But just know what's going on, attend sporting events, put myself out there in the community because that helps with the behavior.
Yeah.
It really, really does, for me.
Yeah. Because they see you, if they see you at events or in, just in the community, then they can make a connection with you that way, which I think is really important because you're not just some lady behind the wheel barking orders at them, know?
Yeah.
So
let's talk a little bit about numbers as far as like, let me restart. Do you guys have a union or not?
We are union. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And what about benefits for you, health benefits? What do you have to do to obtain that?
So for regular drivers, full-time drivers, and for that, they require 25 hours a week is what they require to be considered a full-time driver. They offer health benefits. Actually, our insurance is pretty decent through the school district. And then anything, under that, like substitute drivers, they don't get any benefits,
right?
So
are most of your drivers able to attain that with actual driving?
Yeah. Okay, so we have all of our regular routes. There's 13 of them. They are at least a minimum of 4 hours, but most of them are at least 5 hours, right? I think there's maybe 2 routes because the way they have them worked out, they're like they go and pick up on the outskirts and bring back in. They're only 4 hours, but everybody else is at least 5 hours, not including the drivers that do the preschool runs, right? So they got an additional 2 hours tacked onto that. So, and then sometimes they have other things that like a special needs bus or behavioral student that has to be taken out of the district by Ohio law. If they live in the district and they are in a behavioral program out of the school district, they still have to be transported. I don't know how it is in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is for us too.
Okay. So we have some of that too. So that all, adds up on your hours. But the minimum is 4 hours for insurance.
Yeah, for us, it's 26 and a half, but most of our drivers can't do it driving. So we work midday stuff like at the schools and stuff.
Like so in the school district, like cafeteria or janitorial. And we have some of those too that do the same thing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Are you happy with your current pay structure? I mean, you don't have to tell me how much you make, but like, are you, I mean, we could always want more, right?
For sure. Yeah. I think we all think we deserve to be paid more.
Well, right? I think that's the number one issue why you're not getting, it's A and B.
One of the number one issues why you're not getting people coming in
is pay, the starting pay and stuff. And our district does a great job with, and I've learned this word from my union president, ancillary benefits, meaning like, the hourly rate isn't the best in the district, but all the other things that we have to put in place makes it better.
Right.
And then the other thing, of course, is support from admin and the kids being shits at times, and everyone feels like, I mean, that all the kids are bad, which is totally untrue.
We have 50% of us that like the union are in it, and 50% that aren't, and those that aren't are louder, and they are just looking at that basic wage,
the hourly rate,
basic hourly wage. That's all they're looking at. But when you look at our benefit package in the whole, we're the best in all of our surrounding districts.
Are you?
We're the best. Okay. We get 90% of our medical cap returned to us if we don't take benefits.
Oh, wow.
And that is a huge chunk of change in my paycheck. Huge.
Yeah.
I can get benefits through my husband, so I can decline the district, but I still get free ancillary benefits and for my family too. So they're not looking at all of that package. Right. They're just that one number. They're like, we are $4 less than everybody. I'm like, but they don't get this entire thing,
Exactly.
It's so hard to make them understand.
So we are paid like for our trips. So our scale for pay, it just went up a big let's see, I think this is going to be our 3rd year in our contract because it's a 3-year contract. So 2 years ago, we actually, our trip pay was $16 an hour, right?
Yes,
That was
we
our
had
trip
less.
pay.
Less than your regular route
We
pay.
did too.
Okay, yeah. And so then it jumped up to $20 an hour, which was great, right? For everybody. But the thing is for trip pay, you are getting paid from the time you get there to pre-trip your bus and the time that you come back and park your bus, right? Some school districts around here, they only get paid their drive time. That's all they get paid from the time they pre-trip to the time they get to their destination. And then you might sit there for an 8-hour wrestling meet. And then when you take
Not me.
Yes, exactly. So then they pay them for the drive home. That's a long day to not get paid and to be accessible to the school district. So we do have that benefit, but I do know of schools around here that don't have that benefit. So
they had to make it. They had to change that in the contract because we now get straight pay
for everything,
regardless of what you're driving. Straight pay, right across.
And I get driver pay for my schoolwork too.
Do you?
Yeah, you have to work 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. But if you do that, they reward you by getting straight pay. So that's what I'm talking about. Those kind of things, you know, because. Like Joe said before the newer contract, it was just, wasn't it like $10 an hour, Joe, like for field trips?
No, we were at like 16 or 17.
Okay,
like
maybe
you dropped down.
Yeah, maybe it was
18.
I have 19 jobs and one of my other bosses works for a neighboring district. Maybe it was them, but it's just like,
no, we've never been that low, but it was, you dropped down. It was, a nightmare to figure out, I'm sure, for payroll, but when our next contract, we're like, look, what's some difference? We are driving and you want people to do these. We don't want to lose these athletics for the fact that no driver, they're going to start taking coach buses or something, so that we had to make some changes in there, and now we're like fighting for all the athletics and stuff. And I love going out in the evenings and on Saturdays. So like with Jerry's got a lot of midday work. He can complete his almost 40 hours in 5 days, but I work usually Saturdays to get my to get all my hours in. But we can get up there. And we can get overtime sometimes. So
we don't get a lot of, we have double time on Sundays, but like we do get double time on Sundays, but there's not a lot of Sunday trips in the fall or the spring. There's a lot of Sunday trips in the wintertime because there's girls wrestling, and because girls wrestling is not fairly new, but I think that they don't put them against the boys wrestling on Saturdays. They put the girls on Sundays. So.
And our Sunday trips are girls rugby. They're the only ones that play on Sunday.
Yeah. And then we have girls cheerleading on Sundays too. We have a lot of cheer meets, stuff like that. But we get double time on Sundays.
Wow.
But the people with most seniority, because that's how we do our signups, right?
Yep.
You just go by seniority, and they usually get the Sunday trips. So.
I recently got elected VP of our association, and I've been trying to like write things down. So I wrote the double time down just to bring to the group.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to run something by you. This is one thing I've been thinking about. I've already ran it by Joe, but would you be interested on just your regular pay to get paid all year round?
I do get paid all year round.
Oh, shit.
I do get paid all year round.
Yeah, see, I want that. I know it's going to be less. Now, I am fortunate to have a spouse that is the breadwinner. I mean, so we can manage that anyone can manage it with budgeting, you know what I mean? But interesting. So
we do get paid all year round. Yes. And it is nice because, over the summer, our last day of driving was June 2nd. And we go back August 17th. We have some in-service days on the 17th, and then we have the first day of school is actually the Wednesday, so it'd be the 19th, but we go back in for beginning of school year stuff that week. We have a couple days, so I mean from June 2nd or 3rd until August whatever, I mean we're off that whole summer, and we can take trips. We can take stuff that they have going on, camps and stuff like that we can drive for, but we get paid all year round.
So how does that work then? You get whatever you're scheduled for is what your paycheck. And if you do a trip, that just gets paid on that week.
Exactly.
See,
yes.
That's a great idea.
It is nice. Yeah. We're turning it. They actually just changed the way that not the way they pay us. We went from doing a bi-weekly pay. Now they're going to do, I can't figure out how they, what the math or what the 26 pays. So before some months we would actually get 3 pays.
Yeah.
because the way it would fall.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that way anymore. They're just going to have 2 pays a month.
Yeah, 2 numbers. Yeah, that's how ours
yeah.
is. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've talked to a few drivers. I've talked to 3 drivers. One of them said hell no, and the other 2 said yeah. I don't know. I don't understand, because for me it puts a lot of pressure. What am I trying to say? Like, we work hard and we have a comfortable life, and so all of a sudden I do a lot of gig work like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, obviously the podcast, and I drive for elderly, and I work at the baseball stadium. But it puts a lot of pressure on me to kind of keep up that number. But if I know that number all year round, then I'm like, oh, just a little, like, okay, I know I'm getting a regular paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
It's the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? They're just spanning it out for you. I think that for, probably the admins, they don't think of it that way, but I mean, they probably think, oh no, we gotta, but hey, they're paying you, and if it would help you out, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever been discussed, Joe. I know you've been to the district for a while, but if that
never,
and I don't even know if that's an association thing. It might be like, well, we reach out to admin, they're like, nope, we're not doing it. You know what I mean? I don't know if we can put it in our contract, like we want it, and they say okay. I don't know.
I mean, we got the bonuses. That was something huge. So we get paid for like being off for spring break, Christmas break, and then we get a return bonus in August.
Okay.
And those were huge numbers for us to get, that helps. But yeah, same. I work up at our family friendly gas station up in the corner just for the summer to maintain, some budget and a car payment here and there. But I get to see my kids. It's a hot spot. So the kids are always coming in. It's fun. And then I do have the opportunity to drive our daycare program in the summer too. So we've already started. We've already been to the zoos and museums and stuff. But
which I'm sure those are coveted route. I mean, things that people want to do, right? Because it keeps a paycheck for you all summer long.
Yeah. Actually, for me, I'm not. I'm glad that I was leaving. I'm once I turn that bus off, I won't be back. Well, I'm doing the 4th of July parade. That's the only caveat. But then I won't be back till August. I like the break. I just want the money throughout the year.
Yeah, exactly.
I still want the break. I just would rather spread it out so I have a regular paycheck every 2 weeks. What's a good tip that you could give that? I mean, you've heard our show, so maybe you don't have anything extra, but maybe when you were listening, you're like, oh man, I tell you, if you do this is, I know I'm putting you on the spot. It doesn't matter if you don't have one or not, but.
Well, so you mean in relation to bus driving?
Yeah, bus driving. Yeah. Not marital advice. No, we're not going to go down that. That's a different show.
That's your other podcast.
Right.
Yeah, that's other podcast. Okay. I could probably think of something I think in general, when I train drivers. Yeah. I tell them to, the easy part is driving. I shouldn't say the easy part. The part that is going to take more work is the relationships that you make with the people that you put that get on your bus. Mm-hmm. That's the part that you really have to work on. Yeah. Because I get a lot of kids that get on the bus, and I can tell that at home, they don't have an adult that treats them as an equal, right? They don't make eye contact with you. You say good morning and good afternoon, and you're not even in their world, right? So it takes me a little while to get, I keep working on them. When I train people, I tell them, the part I'm training you for, on how to operate your air brake and how to do your pre-trip, all that stuff. Once you get that done, you're not going to have to work on that every day. The part you're going to have to work on is your relationships with the people that get on your bus and the way you communicate with them, and make sure that they understand that you think of them as not just somebody that's getting on the bus and sitting down back there. You actually care about them. That's how I view it. I don't know if everybody else will view it that way, but that's how I view it. Because at one time when I worked for the post office, I delivered packages. I delivered people's, Social Security checks. I delivered all that stuff. And I thought, being that part of the community, that it was an important thing that I was doing. Yeah. Now that I'm a bus driver, that's even more important. It is. The people that I have on my bus and all the, the littles and people that may not at home, they might not be seen as important at home. Those are the ones that I try to search out and really.
Oh, and when you have a breakthrough, when they look at you and they're like, morning, you're like,
yes, exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be, enthusiastic.
Maybe a grunt.
A grunt. You can't
Exactly.
take the grunt.
So that's the part I think that is that, you can train anybody to drive a bus.
Yes.
Almost anybody. I've had some
Mhm.
few that, I kind of questioned, but you can train almost anybody to drive a bus. But I think it takes a special person to consistently try to make a connection with the people that get on your bus, that try to appreciate each individual person that's on that bus, whether you like their attitude or not. I think that's a hard thing for me is that, some kids I'm like, oh man, this kid, I really don't want to see them today. I'm still gonna smile and say hello, how are you? And and have a good day and good morning. And because I realize it's it's
when you're
not
coming
me.
up, you're coming up on their bus stop and they're not there, and you're like, okay, nope, too late. Now, I'm not even yeah.
It's gonna be easy morning.
Years past, this has been a stellar year, so I can't say that for any of my kids this year, but I've had that in the past where I'm going down the hill going, they're not there. Oh, they're not there. But I never had seat assignments before COVID. So during COVID, when we had seat assignments, and it helps you learn their names. And when you learn their names and they have seat assignments, my kids thrived on that. They love it. They decorated their own name card. They got to put it up there. They got to take it down at the end of the year and keep it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's their seat. And
Yeah.
if I could let them decorate their seats, I would. I'm like, this is where you are planted until we get to your spot. But I highly suggest that, if anybody's listening and they don't have that going on yet, try it. Try seat assignment. Let them pick their seat. And if it doesn't work for you, you can change
then
it.
you can
But
move,
they get to pick it. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys got seat assignments. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you get to
Yeah.
pick your seat assignment. You get to pick your
Yeah.
seat neighbor and then your seat. And if I don't agree with that or something happens later on, we can,
Yeah,
make
that's how I do it
arrangements for some
too.
else.
I do like for our high school, middle school bus, I'll keep my middle schoolers up close because I don't.
Oh yeah.
5th grade, 6th grade, we talked about how they don't have, their frontal lobe is definitely not developed.
Developed,
So,
it's not even there.
No, it's not even there. Exactly. Yeah. So I keep them up close to me. And the ones that, so an example, I have a student that he is a middle schooler. He'll actually be going into high school soon, but he's a middle schooler. So he doesn't have a rational brain cell at all. I mean, everything that he does, he just assumes it's because everybody else is picking on him. I'm picking on him as a driver. But I still treat him the same way as everybody else, So he was sitting up in front near me beginning of the school year, and he was doing pretty good. But then he would have his device on. I'm not sure how you guys do with how your district does with everybody having their phones and the audio being on. Everybody's got their devices on. I usually tell the kids yep, you got to have headphones or earbuds because I don't want to hear your TikToks. I don't want to hear what you got going on there. And he always would have his volume up, right? I cross railroad crossings 16 times a day.
Oh.
16 times a day I do railroad crossings. I have a route that covers, and sometimes the train is stopped, so I got to find a detour. So that puts me like 10 minutes out of the way. So he's always, for the beginning of the school year, I had him sitting right to the right of me. In the front seat, right? I told him, that's your seat. That's where you're going to sit. And he'd have his device and he wouldn't turn the volume down. I'd have to tell him. After a while, I started writing him up because he wasn't following directions. And then he was asking, why do I got to sit here? I said, because you aren't following directions. But I still was friendly with him every morning.
Yes.
How was your day? What did you have for dinner last night? How are things? He didn't want to abide by the rules. I kept writing him up. And that's part of our problem with the school district is that they don't have any accountability right now for when you write kids up. So anyways, as we go on, he did start following rules and I said, okay, you can move farther back, so he moved to the middle of the bus with his friend and they got to hang out but then we started again with the volume all the way up. And then I didn't tell him at the railroad crossing to be quiet. And he's back there laughing and joking. He came back up to his golden seat. But I still was friendly with him every day, but he was one of the ones I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that he's not at that stop today.
Right.
I don't have to deal with him. And
I love how you let it go because that is so important that there are bus drivers that hold a grudge like, oh, I'm going to inherit the student. I already know it's like they're going in with that negativity. You got to let it go. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is your seat for the, till spring break. Why? Because I want to talk to you. So and we talk about gaming and sports and I've had to done my research just because to be that better driver, I want to communicate with them. And by communicate, it's like, what games are they playing on the computer? What sport, who's better in this, and all this. So I watch a lot of sports, and I ask my daughter a lot about games and stuff, and your Pokemons and all that stuff. I just become familiar with it enough to hold a conversation. And they're like, you know about and then before you know it, they have to get off. And I'm like, haha, they're done. They didn't even realize it. They're done.
Right.
But just let that moment go and move on, because you carry that with you. It's going to carry on to all the kids that are around you.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of set the tone for the way the bus is. And so if I have a problem kid, like you said, I deal with it at the moment and then let it go. And you're still part of this. And most of the kids that I've had on my bus, I've had them since they were kindergartners now. I've been driving. Well, a lot of the kids I've had since they were really little. So that my high schoolers, they kind of know that it's a safe place on the bus. Yeah. But if you got a new kid that comes in, like the kid that I'm talking about specifically, he's open enrolled from another school district. I'm not sure why he came to our school district. Maybe there was behavior problems. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. So, but most of the kids know it's a safe place. Everybody's treated fairly. I don't play favorites with anybody, right? I mean, if you do something that we need to talk about, you're going to come sit up with me for a little while until we figure it out, and then you can go back to where your seat. So we do seating assignments also, but I'm kind of lenient if they're all, if we're all on the same page. I mean, I don't really make it a.
Those days that we have a lot of half days. The district loves half days. Oh, so we have half days.
Like they go home early?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's counted as a full day. So they do some.
It's one a month, isn't it?
What?
It's one a month.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Yep.
So they're already scheduled in?
Yeah.
Yep. They're in our calendar. Yeah. But the traffic's all different, and the people out at noontime are like, what the hell's with all these buses? Because we've got 40 buses that go out, I think.
Yeah.
So it's all different. But these half days are a lot of parent pickups for me anyway. So I bring home very little, kids. So and they know it's coming. I'm like, guess what's coming up on Friday? Half day. What does that mean? We can sit wherever. Yeah. So what are we going to do leading up to that day? We're just going to be angels, just angels. And I get really good behavior out of that time, because then, there's a couple that don't earn it, but the rest of them are just like, shoom, right to the back, because they never get to sit back there. So that's fun on our end. Yep.
For sure.
I do a music Friday. So like if
music.
Not necessary for high school, middle school, because none of them can agree on music.
Right.
Someone want to hear country, some want to hear, so none of them can agree. So we don't do music for that. But for the elementary, I have a playlist of, songs that are not, there's no explicit lyrics or anything.
Yep.
So on Friday, they know that they get to, if through the week, if we didn't have any problems, and they don't let me forget, if I don't have the music on when they get on the bus, they're like, aren't we listening to music today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So you got to put it on.
My music's every day. I'm a music nut. Jerry and I do a bunch of concerts, but I love music, and I use that as my daily behavior. So the volume goes off, or I just hit that mute button, and I just have to look back and
they know what
behavior's
it means,
corrected. I'm like, okay, there we go. I think you just interrupted my favorite song, so you better sit down because I like this song. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you know, there's a song called The Middle. I can't think of who sings it. It's a female, it's a pop song. And for some reason they love that song. So they all sing this, and I can't think of it's just I think it's probably about 5-6 years old. Okay. But it cracks me up when it comes on, because they're all singing it, and from the boys that are, that want to be.
Oh yeah, my one that sits in front is like, all right, Miss Joe, I don't like Taylor Swift, but I'll sing it. Because he sits there like this, all grumpy, and I'm just like, we don't have to sing along. That's okay. And then before you know it, they're singing along. But our song this year was Golden, of course, the K-pop.
Oh yeah, from K-pop.
Oh yes. So that was, I mean, I got goosebumps just listening to every single word. And then I figured out my kids have got perfect pitch, and they're hitting the notes, and stuff. And I'm like, I tell
those
their
are hard
parents,
notes to hit too.
Yeah, exactly. I drop them off, and I'm like, hi, your student needs, or your child needs to go to music class.
Yeah, they need to be really sing.
Yeah. I use it every day on my funny. Upper L. It's on very low because they have their headphones on, and like you said, it's all random music. But we created the playlist. My whole elementary week.
Yes, they give you requests.
Yep.
Yes, we did the same thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
All this is amazing. I'm going to wrap it up because we've been going about 50 minutes. So, Joe, we'll just talk and talk and talk. But I appreciate you coming on. We can continue to talk. But what fun thing do you have planned for the summer as we wrap up?
So
drinking.
You get paid and don't have to work.
Hey,
she earned all that money.
I know.
I did earn it. Well, so this year, so my husband and we both ride motorcycles.
Nice.
Right?
Oh, cool.
So last year we took a month off. School was out on Friday. We left on the following Monday morning and took a cross country trip out to California and back.
Wow.
So we did about 8,000 miles.
Woo.
So this year we're like, okay, we're not going to do that trip. We're just going to stay home with visit with the grandkids and our kids and stuff. But we're getting that itch because we started talking about it yesterday. We're like, well, where can we go? We want to go do the Finger Lakes up in New York, the state of New York.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to do that area. So we talked about doing that. We have a camper. We haven't done any camping because we've been, busy. So we thought, well, maybe we'll go camping. We kind of, it's up in the air,
Okay.
But my husband said, he's like, starting next month in July, he's like, I have to take 1 week off a month to the end of the year. Otherwise he's going to lose his vacation. So he's got like 6 weeks he's got to take. So I think we're going to try and take a motorcycle trip and kill some.
I would have said, well, that sounds like a you problem, not me. Go take your vacation.